If I had to think of one trait that I think is the most important trait, not only for an employee when you're looking to hire, but in myself, it would be the trait of coachability. Now there's a lot, there's talent, there's skill, there's EQ, there's core value. There's a lot of great things that we can look at. But to be truthful, research shows that the most successful employees, dramatically more successful employees, are those that are coachable. In essence, they can take the feedback and do something with it. In fact, the most successful are the ones that seek the feedback. They don't just when they get feedback, do something with it. They're looking for feedback. How do we do better? How do we do that? And I put that into practice in my life. There's a conversation that we have on a regular basis with the employees. They're just like, hey, what feedback do you have for me? Is what I'll ask them in order to get that kind of feedback and do it. Once a year, my wife and I go to Mexico to get away from the horse rescue and give her a break, a mental break, because this is compassion fatigue for sure, to do it. And we have a dinner on the last night, which my wife hates. And in that dinner, it's the same principle. I'm like, okay, what can I do better as a husband this year? What can we focus on this year? It's that coachability thing. Now, I remember when I was hired to, an organization hired me, they wanted me to build the infrastructure out. They had a couple salespeople, but they needed a sales team, a marketing team. They were growing rapidly, but they were kind of stuck and they needed the infrastructure to be able to grow more. And so when I came in, I inherited the two guys, which were rock stars, as I was told. And within their company, they kind of probably were the rock stars, right? And I ended up hiring two people from the outside and bringing them in. Now, these two people didn't have any industry experience, which meant that the legacy guys were kind of like, what are you doing? This doesn't make any sense. But one of the things that I look for in that recruitment process is coachability. And both Catherine and Billy, that's what their two names, were very coachable kind of people in the process. And so I installed KPIs, I installed a sales process, I became very structured in everything that we were doing. And what we would find is I would go on ride-alongs, I'd go on sales calls and I give information. And the legacy people were not coachable. The legacy people would very much well, it's not their fault the sale didn't happen, it's the customer's fault, or it's this, or it's that. They always had a reason. But with the other group that I brought in, wasn't younger, they were about the same age, it was because they were coachable. Because when I would say, this is what you need to focus on and work on, they would take that serious and do it. I remember Billy specifically was a podcaster. He listened to podcasts, audiobooks every morning on the way to work. I mean, he was just really all about growing himself and that coachability kind of component. So here's your exercise for you. Coachability is what you're looking for inside your employees, but I want you to ask yourself, are you coachable? Because I know for me, that was a huge ego trap that I had to get over in realizing that I thought I was coachable because I would listen to you, but would I do anything with it? Remember, coachability is the most important trait.